how important to you is financial freedom? Do you finally want to set yourself up on a track that gets you towards a goal of financial independence? Stay tuned as we speak with Joy, who has a lot of expertise in this arena through her own business, her own personal brand, and stay tuned for this episode. Joy, it's a pleasure to speak with you again and on our new channel, KEAL. Welcome. How are you?
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Since the time of the pandemic, a lot of people have really realized, hey, you know what? I want to take on that thing that I'm really passionate about, that I really enjoy, that I really want to share with other people, that I think people get value from. But I want to make it of my own and put it out there in the world. And I know you're doing that as well in your own business. And I want to ask you, as someone who's active in that, if people are looking for this quote unquote sense of financial freedom, that's a long journey in general, I think you would agree. But what are maybe 2 or 3 insights that you can give people that they can start today to start getting on that journey?
So great question. So I think 2 or 3. One would be always have a plan, right? If you have something that you're passionate about and you want to grow and you want to build, allow other people to be investors in the thing that you want to do. And when I say other people, I mean, for example, your job, right? Don't leave hastily without having savings, without having capital, without having a safety board for yourself. Stay at that job and allow that job to be an investor in the thing that you want until you build your resources and able to do that. The other part, or the other thing that people can do right now is start now. Right? And when I say start now, I mean, take a look at everything that you have going on. Understand what your starting point is. Get all of your balances for credit cards, any loans, anything. Get the balances for everything so you can know what your starting point is. And then projection of what you want to have and where you want it to be. When you do that, you have these 2 spaces that you're dealing in. When you have these 2 spaces, figure out one step that will move you closer to that goal. Sometimes we move too fast, think we can from the bottom of the valley to the top of the mountain in one step. And it doesn't really work like that. Slow and steady always win. The fastest way to go is slow, right? And you get to the point and you're slowing down to get there. That's when you'll begin to have traction, but you have to be patient with the process.
One of the phrases so far that everyone needs to write down and look in the mirror if they have this passion in their heart is slow and steady. Because as Joy will attest to, your dreams will come in the right time, but may not be overnight or within a month or even a year. And Joy, on your own journey personally, have you felt demotivated at times? Have you felt like you had wanted to give up? And if so, how did you get out of that and get the willingness to want to continue?
So when you talk about, did I want to give up or quit? All the time, all the time, because we're in this place where we want this thing to sprout as quickly as possible. And when it doesn't sprout as quickly as possible, we're like, oh no, this isn't working. But a seed takes time to grow, just like a baby takes time to develop, all these things. And we have to get out of this mindset that everything happens instantaneously. And the thing that kind of bridged the gap for me in the spaces of when I felt like things were going slow, or I felt like things weren't working out the way that I wanted to work out, I always tap into the answer that I know best, which is gratitude, right? Gratitude is a huge thing in understanding, you know what? You've made it this far. How can you find a space of saying, you've done a great job? And if we all think about it, you've done a great job. You've lived for however many years you're alive. That's let's just start there, right? You've survived whatever it was this far. You're still blinking, you're still breathing, and you still have opportunity and possibility around you. Sometimes where we do ourselves a disjustice, especially when we're on this journey of wanting to do something more or wanting to dig into our passions or create, something that we do is we don't celebrate the steps that we've taken. We try to create the future before the future is here. We can't make a judgment on tomorrow when tomorrow hasn't presented itself to us yet. You can't say, oh, it's not going to happen because, well, you don't know it. So being able to be in a space of keeping yourself in a place of possibilities and opportunities is possible. You may have to do it a different way. You might have to adjust, but let's figure out what a strategy is and what's a plan to get there. It may take longer, and that's okay, right? So for me, that's been the thing for me.
No, I think it's exceptionally powerful with what you're saying, and to resonate off of what you're saying for myself personally. And it's taken so long for me to get to this realization, but I just had it at the beginning of the year, was that I want to, instead of, looking for only the milestones and trying to hit it and imagine that it needs to be done now and I got to get there as quickly as possible, I kind of scrapped all that. And for myself personally, it's more about how do I have a daily lifestyle that is just so enjoyable? Like, how much can I love doing the dishes, taking the dog out, cleaning the house, a lot of chore related things you could say, but understanding, I took this document and I broke it all down. I said, okay, how much of what I do Monday through Friday at least is almost by default, right? Okay, I know I have to do all these chore related things no matter what, because they have to get done. And then how much other time do I have for other things I can put my energies toward, like for my brain part and then the physical part. So I use my brain power earlier in the day because at night it's just my brain's dead. So by understanding how my energy and then by other activities and other things I would like to do can be, I'm trying to create more of the lifestyle and get more and ease more into my dreams I have by doing a little bit, as you're saying, each and every day to get there. And like you and I spoke offline, like a marathon.
Exactly. And I think so I put up a post today. So, I on my social media, I do these things on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they're called Thinking to Thrive. Thinking to Thrive are just questions. And they're questions that just put you in a place of thinking, pondering what the answers would be. And today's question is, how can you fall more in love with your life? Right? And when you figure out, just like you saying, I figured out like day by day, how can I enjoy taking the dog out? How can you fall more in love with your life? And there's another quote I'm going to share with you that I also shared is, you can't give your life more time, but you can give your time more life with the time you have. You can give your time more life with the time you have. And it's like, when you have life, what can you do to enhance that, right? If that is pursuing your passions or trying something else, don't just say that you want to do a thing. Take action and really do a thing. Take that big goal, like you were saying, take that big goal or the mountaintop and figure out how you can take one step at a time in order to get to the top. Slow and steady, actionable, executable things that can move us forward and forward. And before we know it, when we're focused on our own journey, not everybody else's, not anything in the news or all the other distractions that keep you away from your best self, when you focus on the things that's going to move you forward, that's going to be the thing that's going to be a game changer. One other thing I'm going to share that's a complete game changer in creating what you want. Who you surround yourself with and who you're connected to.
Yeah.
It's everything, right? Who you decide to be in a relationship with will determine your home. It'll determine the things you do with, the people that you connect with. It'll be a huge injection on the thought process of how you do things, how you're motivated. If you're around people who are open-minded, ambitious, forward-thinking, and all the things, then the journey to get there is going to be a lot slower.
That is so important. Like who you have around your inner circle, maybe they're on the same journey as you. Maybe they can be an accountability partner as well, a mentor or whichever. But in any sense, like that synergy, that energy that you create together is going to really push each other and drive each other going forward. And I think that that's a really powerful insight, Joy, and absolutely imperative. And you know, we're gonna do just for our viewing eyes, we'll do a part 2 at some point in the future with Joy on this, because she unfortunately doesn't have all the time in the world today. So just so you know, this will be part 1, and sometime in the future we'll do part 2 when there's more time and opportunity, and we'll dive deeper into some other subject matter around creating your own brand and business and living the life of your dreams. But Joy, just a couple really brief things for the amount of time we have left. So firstly, can anyone create this life, have this passion come into reality, come to fruition, especially if they have little to no money? Can you do this like on a very tight budget?
Absolutely you can. The thing is you have to go back to the thing that I shared earlier, is you have to figure out your starting point. Right? You always need to know your starting point. Where am I starting? So if you have no money, or if you have little money, or you have little resources, you have to know what your starting point is, so you can know, okay, I can maneuver these pieces of my starting point to take up one. And granted, it's really a mindset and a perspective thing, because step 1, sometimes we feel like step 1 has to be the mountaintop. Step 1 is never the mountaintop. Step 1 is always one step in front of the other. They're little incremental things that make the difference. So if you don't have any money, if you don't have things, there are tons of things you can do that people probably people don't want to do the things that requires them a little extra work. So if you don't have the money, the first thing you need to do is get money. Yeah. Get money. And how do you do that, right? That means that there's so much opportunity, especially in this day and age that we live in. So many opportunities to make money. You may not want to, but go drive DoorDash or Uber, or find some online help that you can do, or be a dog walker, cut somebody's grass, wash somebody's, all of those things. Like if you really want it, you'll do what you have to do to get there. Like, and if you're not willing to say, I'll go cut somebody's grass for this because I have a goal that I'm trying to reach, then you really don't want to reach the goal. And sometimes you got to be honest with yourself. Do you want it or do you not?
That's a really powerful point, because like you and I also talked about offline, it's about your discipline, your willingness, your motivation, and just keep going no matter what, and know that not every day is going to feel amazing, that you want to maybe do it, but you know that it's part of the long-term goal that you have in mind, and you'll get there eventually. So that's so amazing, Joy. And just to conclude, Joy, and for our viewing audience again, Joy's amazing. We will find a good opportunity to do a part 2 of this in the future when there's a good opportunity on Joy's part, because she's a really busy woman.
We'll just know to hit record.
At the very beginning, exactly. just to conclude, Joy, and thank you so much for all these golden nuggets that I hope people write down, take away, and implement in their life. What is one of the, let's say, just one of the key things that you've learned about yourself as an entrepreneur since you started your own business? What is like one of the key things about yourself that's stood out to say, hey, you know what? I realize this about who I am since being on this journey.
So I think that the one thing that I've realized about myself is resiliency. There's no plan B for me, right? Like, I don't care how many times I fail, I'm going to get back up. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to adjust. And as long as I have breath in my body, I'm never going to stop, right? This life is about evolution. It's about evolving. It's about growing. So I think tapping into the resiliency and knowing that everything's not always perfect, but even though it's not perfect, get back up, and try again. Get back up and try again. Get back up, adjust, do something different, change the colors, change the temperature, go to a different place. Like, find something that will reignite or recalibrate the thing within you after you hit the wall, right? Find people that will help pour into you when your battery needs charging. And you might have a moment, take a break. After you take a break for a second, get back up, get back in, figure out what's your starting point at that point, take action and execute.
That is so powerful, so impactful. And resiliency is just a huge insight, a huge trait that you recognize for yourself, because the resiliency, no matter how the day is, you're going to have the ebbs and flows of everything as this process is and requires. But having that marathon mentality will really get you where you want to go in the end. And like, you know, some key takeaways I take with this, Joy, is like 1% better each and every day.
Yeah.
Stick to it. Be committed. Remember to incorporate gratitude in your life, and just have the end goal in mind, no matter what the day presents itself, and enjoy your lifestyle of each and every day, no matter what you're doing, to the max, because you can't wait for that next vacation that comes 6 months from later and hate everything else before that. You know, you got to make the most of
it
every day.
And one thing I'll add to that, Devin, is give yourself grace, right? Resiliency does not mean burnout. Resiliency means that, all right, I need to take a moment so I can get to my starting point and realize what that is. And I need to get everything I need in this moment so I can go to the next point. So I think it's really about giving yourself grace, but understanding that everything, every day, every moment is a choice. You choose to be happy, or you choose not to be. You choose to be resilient, or you choose not to be. We have the choice to choose every day. As long as you have breath in your body and you can blink and breathe and you have the functions, you have the choice to make every day great.
So powerful. So remember, audience, what Joy is saying, recognize the grace in your life, you know, let that seep into your whole psyche, no matter what, your heart, and just pay attention so deeply to just the beauty that life brings each and every day in those aspects as well. So incredibly
Absolutely
important. So this is part one. We'll promise to do a part two in the future. But in the meantime, Joy, if someone wants to work with you directly and work with you one-on-one, know more about you in general, and also get that help to launch their dreams and passions to create the future they want, where can they find you and work with you directly?
Absolutely. I am on all social media platforms at Inspiring Joy Inc. That's INC. So Inspiring Joy INC on all platforms. My website is also inspiringjoyinc.com. And yeah, on those platforms, I'm mostly active on Instagram. And if you come to Instagram and you follow me, you'll get a lot of little joy sprinkled in your life.
We all need a little bit of that each and every day.
Look,
that's
pun intended.
You know how to brand yourself, right? That's the way. You know how to market and brand yourself. Joy, thank you so much. It was an absolute honor to have you on again. You're always a favorite, and we thank you so incredibly much.
Thanks. This has been great. Look forward to the next one.
Yes. And audience, we'll have on the podcast platform, on the YouTube, we will have sometime in the future part two with Joy. We'll go into some other subject matter related to growing your business effectively, especially talking about social media and other things about the marketing aspects and just the mindset as well. So look forward to that. Watch out for it, and make sure to like, subscribe, and keep the bell notification on, so then you'll know when part two comes out with Joy and you can watch for that. So thank you so much, and we'll see you all in the next episode. Take care, everyone.